want to talk about adaptations for a second because I've been spending a lot of time, of course, working on my Cradle adaptation. Now, this is a little bit of a different scenario because I am working on it. So, I'm the original author, and now I'm working on the adaptation. So it's kind of like I get to make changes, I'm allowed to, and I don't have to justify that to anybody. But a lot of times when people are looking at adaptations, they are they have this attitude that you can't change anything from anything you change from the original is bad. You can't do that. And I would argue that what you actually don't want is you don't want people making the adaptation to tell their own stories. You don't want people taking the original material to tell a different story. You want them to be trying to tell the story that was in the original. But a lot of times, to do that really well means making changes to the original story. So I'll give you a little bit of an example of what I'm running into now. So I've always hated the bully trope in high school movies and TV shows and books. So but of course, Unsouled starts with Lyndon being bullied, right? It's happening in the books, but I don't like how it's played usually in fiction because I find that doesn't mirror how people actually act. No one is going out of their way to maliciously target an individual person when it doesn't look like it does in the movies. Even when people do that, it doesn't look the same. So I don't like having it look like it does in the movie, so I try to play it a little more nuanced, a little bit more tied into the culture, a little bit more you kind of know this person, and I try to play it a little differently in Unsouled. But in the end, it still is a bully character. It's Lyndon's being bullied. So we're working on the adaptation of the animatic, and I realized that a lot of the context I give involves having a lot of scenes that we are now cutting out of the animatic. Now, I think these scenes do need to be cut. I think we're cutting the right scenes. I made the decision, we're cutting the scenes. But because of that, you lose a little bit of the nuance in the bully character. And then we had a voice actor come in and read for Wei Mon-Eri, one of the little 10-year-old girl who Lyndon is scheduled to fight in Unsouled. And she gave such a great voice to Eri, but it was this like arrogant, bratty, bully kind of voice. So she ends up coming off as even more of a bully than she is on the page. So as a result, in the final product, the characters look more like bullies that are even more picking on Unsouled, even than they are in the actual script. So it's one of those things where in the original, it was a little more of a nuanced take, and now it's a change, but it's a change because we don't have the time to do anything more nuanced, and because this works. It's a different take, but it works in this version because we had something really good. So the hard part is I'm trying not to do anything that violates the spirit of the original, and of course it still doesn't. Lyndon's still being picked on. It still is rooted in the culture of Sacred Valley. So we haven't changed anything in particular, but it's going to come off differently, and I think that's just kind of a process of adaptation. What you don't want is you don't want people coming in and making changes to the heart of the story or the heart of the characters or what really makes the story what you loved in the first place.